Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to be talking to you today about money due at closing. There's a big part of the process where you get with Tyler, get a loan, but a lot of people ask, how much money do I really have to have on hand to purchase a home in this market?
One of the biggest myths about buying a new house is people think that you have to have 20% down as a down payment, which luckily is not true. There are programs that allow you to go as low as 3% for first-time home buyers and basically as high as you want for a down payment percentage-wise. But I do want to just let everybody know there are other additional costs that could potentially be due at closing other than just your down payment. And a few of those costs are simply just your title work that has to be done on a home to make sure there's a clear title on the house. There also is what they call an escrow account that you do have to set up. That's for your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance that is required on the home as well. And then the last thing is a cost due prior to closing, but it is the cost of an appraisal. Those are the main things that are there in addition to just the down payment. So it's always something that you want to keep in mind. Those range basically from county to county in reality for the cost of those things. And so I just wanted to let everybody know there are additional costs. Luckily, what we could do, and this is something I'll let Meredith speak to you on, is negotiate some of those closing costs when you're actually purchasing a home. So Meredith?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a big difference in kind of coming in and being comfortable with a certain number, or just saying like, oh man, I thought I had to have 20%. My parents paid 20% down. This is what I need to have. And it's just really not the case. There's a lot of ways we can kind of move around some numbers. And a big part of that, and a thing we practice in North Carolina, is earnest money and a due diligence fee. So those are some costs that we are paid directly to the seller and into the escrow account that Tyler was talking about when we go under contract. What that basically is, without going into too much crazy detail, is we put money down to show the sellers you have skin in the game. Basically, without that, we're coming in and saying, I might not want this house anymore, and you can kind of walk away. Obviously, not the ideal situation for a seller. So what they do is they ask for money in the beginning. And what that does is, again, like I said, shows that you're serious, that you have skin in the game, but also that goes back to your bottom line. It's not that we're just like, hey, I'm going to give the seller $500, just maybe you'll like me a little extra. That's just not really how it goes. It goes to your bottom line. It shows that you're a serious buyer in this market, this fast-moving market. You are ready to buy a home and go through the process. So again, we'll go into a lot more detail about those numbers, what that might look like. But the closing, I get a lot of questions. Do I owe that extra at closing? When is it due? That is due when you go under contract, but again, goes to your bottom line. And then with negotiations, we're able to kind of play with some numbers, with the sellers. They're wanting to sell their home and you're wanting to buy. Typically in that situation, people are able to kind of compromise, get to a common solution, and we're able to work those numbers out to get you to close and to get the home sold. And then next week, we're going to be talking about clear to close. We mentioned a couple of these things with closings and the numbers and what happens. So what happens when you get to the closing table.
Thank you, guys.